something going here. Alright. There we go. Well, hallelujah. What's up, Creepers and Geekers? Chris, the Atari Creep. How's everyone doing today? Let me just pull up something so I can see the damn chitter chatters. Hey, the Atari Creep is live right now. Rock and roll. Alright, let me pull up my Screeny McScreenerson over here. And make sure the volume on my cell phone is down. So, it's been, about a week or so since I've, actually it's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these live chats. And it's, we're overdue, because I don't really have any, I don't have any ideas for videos. I'm kind of bankrupt in a creativity way. I think that's mainly got to do with, I didn't mean to do that. I just wanted to turn the sound down. Okay. That's mainly because of current events in my life, As a matter of fact, I only have a couple more weeks left of the school year where I work. I took the last couple of weeks off. And, they agreed to. They were like, you know what, you haven't had any time to process, so we're not going to milk that cow. I just know that I just haven't had any real cool ideas to put on the Atari Creep channel, so. I think I gotta recut my nut. Because when I go to chord in the cowboy chord section, it tends to be a little off. So I think my nut's a little needs love. The guitar's intonated as well as it can be, but I think I need to cut the nut down. Today we're going to be playing my Les Paul SL. It's probably the cheapest Les Paul you could buy on the market. They go for like $130 now. They were $99 when they came out. And I was totally fascinated by it when it first came out. And you know what? It's one of those guitars that are probably 5 times better than it really fucking deserves it to be. You know what I mean? You could definitely tell where they skimped. And when I first got it, I was actually impressed by the sound of the electronics. The pickups themselves, maybe not so much the pots and the wiring, but not so much anymore, especially now that I got a little tube amp. I can dial into something on my solid state PV. That sounds alright, but once I popped it into a tube amp, which I would think would have a little bit more of a pure tone, it just doesn't quite cut it for me, I mean, it sounds okay, but it's like here's the neck pickup. Ooh, I gotta tune that up. Now I'll play the exact same chord in the middle position. Hear how dramatically louder it gets, and now in the neck. It's like bridge is wimpy. It's weird. I hope you can hear that distinguish. Yeah, I definitely I gotta work on this nut. That was a horrible chord. Yeah, hear that? It's because I'm pressing down on the strings too hard. And at the nut, there's too much play going up and down. Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? This ought to be interesting having you in a chat because you like to use predictive text a lot, don't you? I love your comments. I look forward to each and every one of them. And I hope you know I put meaning to each one of your comments, not texts. I put meaning to each and every one of them. People are like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, it's brilliance is what it is. So I'm probably going to alter this thing, but I don't want to alter it too much. Luckily for me, the pick guard here, all the electronics is all inclusive. So it's literally something I could just pull right off. I mean, there's a grounding wire that I have to unsolder, but pull it out. I'll probably buy me another pick guard and install some yummier stuff in it. And if I ever want to get rid of the guitar, I have the OG shit to send along with it. It's just a fun guitar to play. It really is. It plays well. It sounds okay as far as, what it is. I was just watching 5 Watt World. They do a series where they talk about a specific model of guitar and the history of it. If you've never checked it out, look up 5 Watt World. Really good stuff. And they launched a video today about the Junior. The Les Paul Juniors. Another great episode. I had an opportunity to have a 57 Junior. Pretty much looked like this. I mean, this is more of a melody maker kind of thing. But a Junior was just a slab body with one single P90 and, no frills. And a buddy of mine had his grandfather's. And he let me borrow for a little while. And I remember at the time, because I was into the whole thrash thing, at the time. Like, and if it wasn't thrash, it was ass, so to speak. And I just couldn't understand the P90. I couldn't understand. I don't know how to say it. I couldn't appreciate it. I couldn't appreciate what that guitar was. Had I known it was Leslie West's main tool of destruction back in the day, I probably would have hung on to it. But he presented it to me as a Les Paul, and I'm like, oh, cool, I love Les Pauls. It was 1987-ish. Guns N' Roses just came out. So Les Pauls are starting to come back. The whole Super Strat thing was fading away, the hair bands and everything. It was like that weird. I mean, I know 87, 88, 89, we still had the hair bands and stuff. Hey, what's up, Atari 2600, dude? Thanks for popping in. But it was like right around that late 80s when the transition started happening into more of an alternative kind of scene, But I was still thrashed to the max. But he said his grandfather had a Les Paul in the closet and he'd give it to me for a couple $100. So he pulls it out and this Junior comes out, which I didn't know much about at the time. I just saw this weirdo looking pickup. There was no carved top. There was just this one little wraparound bridge. It seemed cheap. And when I played it, I enjoyed it, but it was like I didn't know what to do with the fucking thing. I didn't know what to do with it. Yeah, we're going to talk a little music. Maybe do a little bit of a Amico talk. But it's also open chat, so if you got something that's on your mind, by all means. I mean, none of these are really scripted or written in stone or anything. I just saw some lunacy, and I actually replied to some lunacy today, which I hardly ever do, as it relates to, say, the Amico. But I wanted to talk about that in a little bit. But right now, it's all my guitar. So I had this thing in my possession for a couple of weeks. I gave it back to him. And then I started researching it. I got the Les Paul book. There was a book out. I'm sure there's a couple now. But at the time, there was a book about the Les Paul, And I'm reading about it, and I start going down this rabbit hole of music. On top of thrash, 60s psychedelic was my other favorite genre, and still is. I love the 60s psychedelic scene. I think it's probably one of the greatest scenes ever. It's gnarly. It's unforgiving in what it is. It was experimental at the time, and a lot of it, quite frankly, is crap. But I love it. One of my favorite bands from the time is a band called the Bubble Puppy. Hot Smoke and Sassafras was their claim to fame. Great album. If you can get down with that kind of psychedelic thing. So I looked at this. I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's something more to this Junior than my metal sensibilities allowed me to see. I actually started learning to actually play guitar shortly thereafter. It wasn't just all E. I'm probably going to get flagged left and right in this video. That's alright, though. So I was like, yeah, dude, I'll buy that. How much? He's like, $200. And it took me a while to scrape the $200. And by the time I was like, all right, I got it, his mom had dropped something. I think it was a treadmill on the headstock, and it snapped the fucking thing. But I'm like, you know what? This is a 57 Les Paul Jr. I don't care. I'll still give you $200 for it. And he was agreeable, but we never made it happen. And eventually, they just threw the fucking thing out. And now they're 5-figure guitars. And it wasn't the value. It's not the value that really upsets me. Because if I ever sold it, I probably would have split that with him. He's still in town. I know where he is. But it was more of what I missed out on. The history and the beauty that is an actual junior, you know. And I've strived to have a junior, but I'm very picky, you know. There was this one time in the, the mid-2000s, late 2000s, where everyone started making junior copies, you know. What was that one, SLX? Was that a company? They had a whole bunch of them. And it started getting real popular. It started getting real popular again. And then I started missing the junior thing again. And I've looked and I've played. I don't want to just pick up anything. Epiphone just came out with a really nice one, but it's a poly finish. It's a real thick poly finish. If you look at this thing, there's hardly any finish on it at all, really. And I prefer that. I prefer a nice... this is definitely not nitrocellulose, but I like a nice thin nitrocellulose. I like it when the guitar ages. A lot of people don't like the finish checking and the fading of the colors and everything. I appreciate that, and I absolutely love it. I love it when things like these little tools of creation, which is all they really are. They're just like tools, you know, no different than, you know, like this wrench I got on the floor over here in my tool bag. You know, no different than that. They're just the job in which you need to perform with it. I do have a single cut guitar and a P90. Actually, I think the P90 is right here. Yes, it is. I've even had the Epiphone Les Paul Juniors with the humbucker, which a P90 dog ear will fit. You just have to do a little bit of modification, but that's a P90 pickup. It's a single coil. It's about the size of a humbucker, though. This came out before the humbucker. This was basically Gibson's flagship pickup on their student models and their high-end models and everything in between, until the humbucking pickup was invented. This is an Amico 5, meaning the magnet is an Amico 5. So it's not that ceramic high, crispity, crunchy, crappy. I don't like ceramic in my single coils. But I have this for another guitar over there, which is actually, it's a company called Daisy Rocks. They made guitars for young ladies to learn how to rock. But when I saw that single humbucker, single cutaway, sparkly pink guitar for only $45 on Reverb, I just had to have it. So I bought it. I got that pickup, and I still haven't mated the two together. Let's see. Atari 2600 dude says, I remember back in the 80s, every metalhead guitarist I knew wanted Flying V's and Explorers. Dude, I had an 84 Explorer. It was all black. And I got it for $350 at a place called Daddy's Junkie Music up on Route 1. I can't remember what I traded in for it. But I remember I traded that in for a Les Paul later on, a Les Paul Studio. It was wine red with gold hardware and actually had the trapezoid inlays and not the dot inlays like a lot of studios have. But my dream guitar is a white Gone Cream Explorer, rear routed, 1984. The designer series, I think they called it, before they started slapping like stupid paint jobs on them. What they would do is they took the white guitars, and some asshole with a fucking brush and paint would go wah wah wah, you know, literally just splatter it on there, and then make like draw one line, and then they'd clear coat over it and call it the designer series. They were the same guitars, just different paint jobs. But my dream guitar was always to get a white one. The closest I ever came to was a black one. I had that all through high school. And all my other buddies had like Ibanez's or Randy Rhoads V guitars, off the offset pointy ones. Or the Jackson King V, yeah. I didn't know too many people who had actual like Gibson Flying V style guitars. A lot of pointy guitars. But yeah, that's my guitar. That's my Les Paul Jr. 57 Les Paul Jr. story. It was a brown and yellow burst too. It wasn't the TV yellow. It wasn't TV yellow. I don't like TV yellow. I don't like that. I don't like that color at all. Don't get me wrong. If I had an opportunity to grab one, I would. But that's it. So let me see what's going on over here. We got 5 people watching. Wow. Speak up, folks. This is your chat too. You know. This is your chat too. If you have any topics on mind. I watched the video today. Okay. We're gonna go into Amico territory here. The first guitar I loved as a kid was Paul Stanley from Kiss's Ibanez Iceman. I had a sparkle blue one. I guess you would call it electric blue now, or Pelham blue, that a buddy of mine gave me, and it turned out to be fucking stolen. I was so pissed. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Because I went to trade it in eventually, and the number came up stolen, and I had the local cops. I didn't tell them whom I got it from. I just said I got it from an ad, you know, a number of years ago. The time period in which was correct. I just didn't want to dime out my buddy. But I know he didn't steal it. He probably got it from somebody who stole it. He did other nefarious things, so he probably took that in trade for something, and then said, I don't know what to do with this guitar, dude. Here, just take it. Just take it. He's dead now. Come to think of it, not to be a bummer, but he died. He died a bunch of years ago. I think his ticker gave way, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, it was a very interesting guitar. Now, you talking about his mirror, his broken mirror one? They are probably worth a bit now. You know what? When it comes to Ibanez and the Iceman, it really depends on model, year, and you know when you made. It really depends on the year, which model. Is it tied to anybody in particular? Like if you found an original, you know, shattered mirror one, yeah, you're talking about some big bucks. But there were a whole bunch of different tiers of the Iceman. Much like any other model of guitar, to be perfectly honest with you. Like this Les Paul. I mean, this was $100 when I bought it anyway. Actually, it was a Father's Day gift. Last Father's Day. I gave him $50 towards it. But we are going to be modding this guitar here pretty soon. Let me get you the Daisy Rocks one. Let me get you the Daisy Rocks. It doesn't play right now because I don't have strings or the bridge on. I do have to repair one more thing to it before I... And that's mainly why I haven't put the P90 in it yet. Give me a second. Let me go get that thing. This thing is sexy! Look at this thing. Look at this thing. The color's not coming through. But tell me that's not gorgeous. Tell me that's not gorgeous. Now picture the P90 here. There's a standard bridge. And then like a Bigsby or something down here. I'm even going to put like a little round mirror. I'm going to glue a mirror here. I told you I like the psychedelic scene, you know. Nice rosewood fingerboard. Actual rosewood. I think it's rosewood. It might not be, but... I think the guitar itself, because these were kind of budget too, but it's pretty heavy. But I think these are made from sycamore. Of all weirdo things. Sycamore. Let me put it back. But yeah, I'll be taking care of that soon. You know, I still have the 3D printed guitar, and I have the monster bass. I got one of those no-name, like Tesco style basses from the 60s or 70s. I couldn't date it. I'm going to guess 70s. That I put monsters on the front, and I got to finish that thing too. You'll be seeing that pretty soon. But Post Style, what's up, brother? Congrats on 2 years smoke free, he says. I need to do the same. Dude, thank you, man. Yeah, if you guys don't know, if you're not on my personal Facebook page like Mr. Post Style over here is, I celebrated 2 years not smoking yesterday, so that's what he's referencing. Let's see. Who are your favorite guitarists? The person who got me playing guitar was James Hetfield. Now, he may not be, as far as a writer, the greatest guitarist in the world. I mean, he makes some fucking badass riffs. And his downpick is second to none. I used to be able to downpick like a motherfucker. I don't anymore. Ooh, that's nice. You don't see many of those. Mitsubishi 3000s. David Gilmour. David Gilmour would definitely be up there in the top two. James Hetfield for actually getting me started. I don't have my high gain amp on, so I really love this guy named Andy LaRocque. If any of you guys can tell me who Andy LaRocque is and you live here in the lower 48, I'll send you out some Creep It Real buttons. Don't Google it. I want it within the next minute. Yeah, so David Gilmour, James Hetfield, Andy LaRocque. That's right, King Diamond. But you're in Australia, aren't you? I don't know, how much would it cost to send a puffy pack to Australia? Oh, you know what? Get a hold of me privately. We'll figure something out. Trying to think. I mean, there's just so many of them. The thing is I like James Hetfield for his aggressive downpicking and getting me into that style of music. I mean, you know, he's no fucking savant or anything. But there's just something about his playing that really drew me in. David Gilmour can take 3 fucking notes and turn it into the most emotional thing in the planet. So I like his compositions for that kind of thing. I mean, just the you know, just a comfortably numb solo, which I kind of did. I'm trying to not get a fucking flag. You know what I mean? It's literally just 3 notes. When he starts, he's like... It's just 3 notes. And he goes back to those 3 notes. Amazing stuff. You know, Andy LaRocque for his technical ability, and he had a different tone. He had kind of an evil tone. I mean, if you listen to King Diamond, especially, not the first 2 albums, I say the second and the third, Abigail and Them, and maybe even into Conspiracy. There's just this thing about the way he plays and the way he attacks the strings. It just has a menacing, evil sound. And when I mean evil, I don't mean like, evil. It has a sound to it that when you first listen to it, you're like, I shouldn't be listening to this. Like, it was when music was still scary. You know, I remember listening to Abigail in the basement of my house. The one I've been trying to get to for that fucking... Do any of you remember the time capsule I spoke about a few years ago? I've written that house a number of times being like, let me get my time capsule out of your yard, please. But, I remember in the basement of that house working on a model. The first time I heard Abigail, and thinking to myself, and you got to remember I was a minister's son too. You know, I mean, he wasn't happy about it. He didn't beat it down my throat. But with the whole minister church vibe in my house, plus I was used to different kinds of music, then all of a sudden hearing King Diamond. I heard King Diamond before I heard Merciful Fate. And then when I heard The Oath, oh my God, you want to talk about terrifying. But I love King Diamond. I fucking absolutely love King Diamond. I could never get into Pink Floyd. Stoner band. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I very rarely hear people say that. But when people tell me they don't like Pink Floyd, they don't like Pink Floyd. And I could totally get it. I mean, prog is... I would call them a prog band. I really would. I mean, some people call them an acid band, and they do have a lot of psychedelic roots, especially in their early days, the first couple albums. Saucer Full of Secret, definitely. But I would consider them more of a prog kind of setup, because their albums always sounded like, they went in different directions each time. And, yeah, I could totally see why people wouldn't like that. But I'm more into the actual, that kind of thing. The music itself is great stuff. David Gilmour, a god. In a guitar world sense. Ted, what's up, buddy? In college, you would hear Pink Floyd down the hall. In about 5 minutes, you could smell the weed. Yeah? They go hand in hand. I'm not going to sit there and confirm nor deny the use of mescaline and acid back in the day while listening to Floyd and the like. But I'm sure that was a thing here in my hometown and, with my buddies. Shh, don't do drugs, kids. Just say no. Listen to fucking Nancy Reagan, alright? Okay, dude, probably cost too much. We'll figure it out, dude. We'll figure it out. I'm assuming he's talking about shipping a couple buttons to Australia. Well, if it costs that much, something stupid like that, maybe we'll have to make it worth your while. You know what I mean? You've been around for a little while. You've been very positive, even when I've been negative. You might deserve it. Let me see. Get a hold of me privately. Throw an address my way, and I'll at least research it. And if it's not too ridiculous, I'll send you out a couple buttons and a few other cool little things. I like Floyd from Dark Side on, but not the early stuff. And that's common too. I think once Dark Side came out, people were more into it. It was a little more mainstream, a little bit more experimental, I guess you will. It didn't really have an agenda. If you think about the early Floyd stuff, kind of had an agenda. It had the whole 60s psychedelic vibe agenda. But you can also thank that stuff for the Beatles, too, because they recorded in the same studio. And you notice the Beatles starting to go a little more psychedelic and a little less, I guess what you'd call rockabilly. Not really rockabilly, but they went from their 50s to their 60s sound while watching Pink Floyd record. So Pink Floyd's awesome. I love Pink Floyd. I love everything about it, That's one of my favorite albums. I love Wish You Were Here. Shine On You Crazy Diamond has got to be one of my favorites. Oh, I completely fucked that up, but that's okay. Let's see. Do you get into any 70s rock bands? Yeah, I mean, start throwing names out there, and I'll say yay or nay. I love the whole 60s and 70s vibe. I really do. Minus, of course, disco. I fucking hate disco. I hate it. Just can't get into small animal picking stuff with a pick, or whatever that is. Just can't get into what? Small animals picking stuff with a pick. Maybe all that stuff that I said that didn't happen is starting to float in my mind, or whatever that is. I was picking stuff with a pick. I don't get it. I'm sorry, dude. Jim, elaborate a little bit more, and I guess I'll comment on it, but just can't get into it. Small animals. You talking about the album Animals? I don't know. We don't have to talk about Floyd anymore, though. I'll probably put the guitar down here pretty soon anyhow, so... let's see what we got here. Wow, 6 people watching now, huh? That's cool. Chime in, guys. All say hi. So, I watched this one video. Disco sucks. I was more into Aerosmith, Van Halen, and earlier 70s stuff. Right on, man. My brother, Tom, was an enormous, still is, Aerosmith fan. Enormous. And I actually got to play with their drummer once, and it was kind of by accident. I got a buddy of mine who was in foster care in the town adjacent. Sad story, this poor bastard. He went through hell with his mother. But he ended up in this really rad dude's house, you know. And they had a drum set downstairs, and I would bring my PV Bandit over and whatever guitar I had to get at the time. I still had the Explorer. And we'd go down there and jam. Now, you remember, I was thrash, you know. I was E at a billion fucking notes per second. And they were like, yeah, we got this dude coming over, won't you? You know, so we're playing. And he just throwing down a beat, and I'm just playing along with it, you know, of course, heavy stuff. And the guy says, hey, do you know how to play the Aerosmith? And I was like, fuck that shit. That's the stuff my older brother listens to. Because my brothers were, like, much older than I was, so... And they're all laughing at me. It turns out it was the drummer. I was like, oh. Okay, I can play that. Actually, I apparently can't play it, but... See, Bad Company, yeah, I like them. Boston, oh, come on. Of course you know I like Boston. Deep Purple's rad, Led Zeppelin. Black Sabbath is numero uno on my influence list. You could trace scary music back to them. And I think Tony Iommi was quoted by saying, we just wanted to make music that scared people. You know? I can't imagine how that riff felt the first time somebody heard it back in the late 60s. I mean, everything was all love and dovey and, you know, lots of... Love you, put flowers in my hair, you know, that crap. And then along comes a band going... Great stuff, man. Fucking fantastic. And actually, several species of small furry animals gathered together in a cave and grooving. Okay, so we're just talking nonsense. Okay. Fuzzy animals and stuff. Groovy, man. Groovy. Let's see, Bad Company. I love those bands too. Yeah, I do too. As a matter of fact, my connection with Tommy Tallarico actually made me the hit of the show when my mom was in her last few hours. It sounds fucked up. But it was the first time me, my 2 brothers, and my sister were in the same room together and not murdering each other. I haven't talked to my fucking brothers in decades. My sister's a different story. Her and I have always been connected. She's the eldest of us all. And I'm the youngest. But I was reading something on my phone, and my brothers were in the corner picking on me, like, oh, so what are you doing? I said, I'm messaging my buddy Tommy Tallarico. My brother's eyes, is he related to Steven Tallarico? Steven Tyler? I'm like, yeah, they're cousins. What? And he lost his fucking mind. He's like, you're friends with... No, I'm like, I'm not friends with fucking Steve Tyler. So calm your tits. But yeah. But going back to what I was going to say like 20 minutes ago, I watched the video today. Now, if you follow me when it comes to especially the Amico, okay? This is where we're going to get into the Amico madness part of this whole thing. And I'm not going to try to figure it out. I'm not going to try to justify it. I just want to talk about it because it's just so bizarre to me. It's so bizarre to me. I get liking something. I get not liking something. I get talking about it either way. But this individual made a video. I'd never heard of him. Apparently he's been a troll for a while. Not going to say his name, but he uses somebody's name, Tommy, and some other variation of game consoles afterwards. And He made a video showing Amico, not all access, Amico after dark or whatever it is, Amico at night. I'm not hip to these things. I'm not part of the circle anymore. But I believe it's the Retro Bro or whatever his name is. Really nice guy. I feel bad for forgetting his name, but him and I corresponded with him using a different company name for the T-shirt, for my Walk Down to Alzheimer's T-shirt. So the Retro Bro, though, I think it's his little deal that he does about the Amico. And this guy is playing it, and the folks are just talking. They're having a good time. And Saggy Mellon said some shit about, I like foreplay. I don't know. It seemed like a fun conversation that was not just focused on one thing. It was a bunch of people having a good time, communicating with each other, fellowship, if you will. And 80% of the video showed this with a little snippet of this guy talking about how uncomfortable the fucking video made him. It made him uncomfortable. So I did. I never watch these things. I never respond to them. It's always been my thing, and you know what? And it's kept me out of all the bullshit. It really has. Once in a great while, you'll see one of my thumbnails on something. But for the most part, I'm not a meme anymore. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay if I am a fucking meme. I don't give a shit. But he made a video about being uncomfortable about that cast or whatever. 6 Degrees of Steven Tyler. Amen, brother. Apparently I had 2 of those. The drummer and Tommy. So I responded saying, this is a genuine question for you. You and you only. None of the rest of the dickheads that are on there. Because the usual suspects were there. I said, did this really make you uncomfortable? Or was it kind of like a shtick? You got to tell me, please, because I need you to see how uncomfortable it would make me feel if I made a video about a video that made me uncomfortable. When the video was about a topic that I did not enjoy, but yet I still watched it, got uncomfortable, and made a video talking about how uncomfortable I was. I'm like, that doesn't make you uncomfortable? And I offered him a hug. I just said, I'm open. If you need a hug, I'll give you a great big hug. And he's responded with something. He responded with, I need you to Google, and he mentioned the dude's name. I'm not going to say that either, but he's the renowned expert on cult psychology. And I knew exactly who it was right away, because when I worked in prisons, we had certain, certain schoolings, so to speak, and we had to hip ourselves to certain, subcultures and such, and cults were one of them. And how to prevent it and how to deal with cult activity within the prison systems. It's just fucking weird. But so I knew who the guy was. I'm like, I know who the dude is. I know what I wrote went on and on and on, and it did. It really did. I said, but at the end of the day, it's a simple yes or no question. Are you fucking serious? Really? Because I wanted to point out the stupidity of it. And it's so fucking bizarre to me that people are getting so... And it's not new. I've been talking about this for a long time. That people are getting so aggravated by this one little thing that doesn't even exist yet. That they're creating media sites. They're creating Facebook pages and private discords, and they're spending all this time and energy to fucking either crap on, complain about, or cry about something they're not even interested in. Passion is passion, and let's take OEB Pete for instance, okay? For the average individual, OEB Pete is an extreme individual, okay? The cat is super over positive. When I first saw his videos, and you guys can show him this, I don't care. When I first saw him, my first thought was, this is refreshing. This dude is genuinely excited, and he's not afraid to show it. He seems like a serial killer, though. I thought he was a weirdo myself. But the more I watched him, and the more I vibed on his vibe, I'm excited about Amico too, but I'm not dancing around excited, but that's his vibe, and I can't deny him that vibe, nor would I ever, whether he likes it or doesn't like it, And then to come to find out his main reason for being so positive online, which is actually a touching story, and I don't know if I should relate it here, but let's just say it has something to do with his children and leaving a legacy, okay? And leaving a positive legacy for them to reflect back on, which is amazing. I wish him the best and hope that that legacy doesn't have to be reflected upon until his children are well in their adulthoods. But I could totally see where that would be extreme to somebody, you know? So I guess the thing tips both ways. But you don't see certain people going into topics they don't like and making things happen. And it's just so weird, the mentality behind it. And Amico's not the only thing. But because it's current event and it's so out of control now with it. It just makes no sense to me. And a lot of times people sit there and say it's just for a sense of humor, and it's not. Let me turn the amp off here. It's for a sense of humor and whatever. There's a specific page out there which I do follow, not follow in a sense that I click on it. You serial killer, yeah. I'm not picking on the guy. I love the guy to death. I think his content is amazing. I think he is probably one of the most refreshing people on YouTube, and he's not just doing all Amico. He's picking these. It's an all-around channel, and I'm glad it's flourishing. I think dudes like Pete need to flourish. I really do. Wow, the comments are starting to go. I'll get to you guys here in a minute, but I lost my train of thought. You know what I'm saying? It's just asinine. Let's see. Retro Advisory Board says the whole YouTube channel to make meme video. Yeah. It's. I mean, if that's what they want to do with their time, though, dude. OEB Pete tries to push positive online. Yeah. You know what? And it's funny because there was somebody who had commented, the very first video I ever saw of Saggy Melons. It was the only video I've seen of Saggy Melons. It was a live stream. I think she was talking to Tommy. And her and somebody were talking amongst the thing. And they were talking about how... No, I'm sorry. It was another dude. And I can't remember who it was, but I did not sub to him. It was another dude talking about positivity and all that. And talking about how it's not needed and I don't know. But he laid a whole groundwork, 45-minute fucking live stream talking about how anyone who's positive about something is cultist mentality, and I don't know, it's stupid. I questioned it once or twice, and about 3 or 4 people came at me in the chat about it. I'm just like, can you let the dude answer? Let the dude answer. I don't know. Let's see. Hey, Atari Creep. How are you doing, man? Just left a huge like. Oh, dude, thank you. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the feedback. Amico is going to sell 1 million units. Yeah, I hope so. I'm not going to make any predictions. I think it's going to do as well as it needs to do, and I think it'll stay relevant enough to keep the gears working over in television entertainment. And you got to realize, Tommy's an entrepreneur. Tommy's one of those guys that he will, hey, Ward, what's up? He'll get his mind on something, and guess what? It fucking happens. He makes it happen. I mean, that dude was practically homeless when he got into the video game industry. And it was a t-shirt. It was a fucking t-shirt that got him into the industry. And everything he has set his mind out to do, he has done, and then some. And if you can't at least be behind that, regardless of his personality, again, going back to the whole OEB Pete thing, and now talking about Tommy, I totally get if certain personalities don't mix, you know what I mean? Oil and water sometimes. That's just the way it is. 31 flavors. We all have our own vibe, you know? And if you can get down with it, great. If you can't, move on, you know? It is what it is. Let's see. Even more OEB Pete, extreme, don't watch him. Yeah, they really like picking on that one dude. He's great, though. I like OEB Pete. I watch every one of his videos. I may not interact with each one, but I watch every one to at least have something going for him, you know? Let's see, I don't think the Atari VCS gets as much hate as the Amico is now. Well, it's because it's old now. The Atari VCS has already been out, and it's proven to be exactly what we all thought it was going to be. So I don't think it's current event. There's nothing to complain about anymore, is what it is. You know, more times than not, you would hear people complaining about the VCS. You'd have those couple of people that would be like, yeah, I can't wait for this thing to come out, like I am with the Amico, you know. I was excited for VCS until the folks that own the Atari names started, I don't want to say doing sketchy things, but when someone disappears on you, It only comes out to smooth over bad news, and that's literally what they did. They lied a few times. Just plenty to complain about. But now that it's kind of out and it's been in a few people's hands, no one gives a shit anymore. No one cares. And it's doing exactly what we all thought it would do. Nothing, really. Be perfectly honest with you. And I'm actually in line with somebody who has one. We've been trying to set up a stream together of him talking about his experience. He was going to show us what he's done with this so far and let me know how he feels. And a little spoiler, I don't think he's very positive with his purchase. I think he's pretty upset about it. GameZar and Linda the Gamer Girl, thanks for coming by. And Warren, I already said hi, but thank you too, man. Yeah, I do agree because a lot of people, and this is Rave Warrior here, negatively into the post disrespectful comments. So, I got another thing to talk about with disrespectful comments as it relates to Amico, but we'll go. Let me get into this. The spider web. What's the spider in the web all about? GameZar. I like that. Are you talking about my Black Widow here and my webs on the arm there? I don't have it on my elbow because that would be disrespectful. I didn't earn that. Sorry, just joined. There is an OEB Pete thing. No. No, I just use him as an example of how I can understand where people are off-put by certain personalities. But why anyone would want to discredit someone feeling good about something. Yeah, I don't know. The Crow Continuum. Wow, everyone's starting to pop in. I hope I'm not ruining your work days. Kind of odd, but the community, ultra, there's, yeah. Yep, if we're talking about the VCS still, yep, I agree. Let's see, Ted was, I do this every time I stream. I struggle to read the comments because I just don't want to put these fucking things on my face hole. Oh, wow, I can see him now. I think it's interesting how Atari acted pre-launch, how the Intellivision acted pre-launch, yet Intellivision gets the enormous amount of hate. You know what? They both got equal hate. I think Amico got more hate because, and I will stand by this theory to the end. I think I did a video about it too. Atari was silent quite a bit. They came out and said, hey, get a hard on. And then they left you with blue balls for the longest time. And then they would come out and be like, it's the face hole though. I know, right? And then they would come out with, hey, we got a little bit of an issue here, but it's in your benefit. It's in your benefit. And then they just kind of peppered little things here, but there was really no point of contact. It was us just waiting for little slices of cheese, like little fucking good little rats waiting for our treat, Whereas you have someone like Tommy Tallarico, and that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. People responding to negative comments. That's very vocal. We'll just say Tommy is very vocal, and he's a creative guy. He plays guitar. He's a musician. He's a creative guy. And when it comes to cats like us, if you start shitting on our art, let's look at his project here as another art project, okay? It's something that he's creating. How about we'll just say that instead of art. And when someone shits on something that you're creating, it hurts. It hurts. Now, yes, he is in a position where he probably should be a little more, But I think what's happening is not so much it's the Amico itself. I honestly believe it's Tommy and him lashing out back saying, look, no, you're wrong. You're fucking wrong. People don't want to hear that. And they most certainly don't want to hear that from somebody who's trying to put a consumable in your hand. Okay? People have that mentality of the customer's always right. When I had a sandwich shop, I had a big fucking sign right here and then another one over here. The first one said the customer's always right until they're absolutely wrong. And the other one says if you're rude to my help, you'll be kicked out. Kind of basic. I said other things, but... and I live by those as well. People are in that entitlement mentality that because someone's trying to put something in your hands for your hard-earned money, which is not far from the case, you should get, whatever. That person has to bow down and listen to your critique. But when your critique is not right and someone's trying to launch a product, and I'm not just talking video games, it could be this P90 pickup that we were talking about earlier, or this Sony Walkman that just happens to be right next to me. It doesn't work. I got to put a new belt in the drive. But the girls were very curious as to what a Walkman was, so we found my girlfriend's old Walkman from when she was a kid or whatever, and I got to get it fixed so the girls can experience a Walkman. But whatever. But when people aren't used to the consumable maker coming back and telling you you're wrong, they lash out, especially here on the internet. People can't handle that shit. I just don't get it. So there was a comment about, okay, so Tommy posted the new Galaxy Purple, the new gray trim, which I actually think is great. It looks kind of like a hammered metal that I did on my, give me 1 second. If you haven't seen it yet, it looks very close to this color. And I think it actually accents the purple a lot better. This is a 3D printed guitar body that I need to get off my ass and finish. And someone made a comment saying, looks like something my cat would take a shit in. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. So Tommy responded with, oh, so it looks like your mouth. Which I thought was an equal, and you know, maybe as the CEO of a company, maybe he shouldn't. But you know what? Fuck that. Fuck that, and fuck that thinking. And then people got all up in arms because he said it. You know, there was a meme that was made almost instantly. Oh, family-friendly CEO. It's got nothing to do with family-friendly CEO. You want to fucking come off with something like that? Don't get mad when someone pops back at you. You can't get fucking mad when someone pops back at you. You're going to tell someone that your cat's going to take a shit on their product, and they say, well, the product looks like your mouth. It's coming. You know what? People just need to learn that, you know, if you're going to talk shit, you're going to get shit talked back to you. And you need to learn to respect it, and you need to learn to accept it, absorb it. Now, if you have something witty to come back with, you know, like, oh, like your mom's ass, or, you know, whatever. You know, whatever your witty whatever is going to be. But you could tell with this individual, that was all he had. Oh, it looks like something my cat would shit on. Which is completely unnecessary to say, but I will never fault anyone for saying so. I mean, First Amendment. I believe that you have the right to say whatever the fuck you want without criticism. It's that simple. But if you're going to talk shit and someone comes back with you, don't get mad. Don't cry like a little girl. Excuse the expression. Don't cry like a sissy. You know, don't come off like a tough guy and then go, ooh, and have people make memes about it. So asinine. All right, so the chat, accents, face hole. Okay, so not much has happened. Could be the same as E.T. It's the worst game ever. People just follow what everyone else thinks. And I use E.T. a lot as a nice gauge as to where somebody is when it comes to all this. You know, if I sat here and people, oh, E.T., the worst game of all time. They're one of two things. They're lemmings that follow the internet bullshit, or there's someone who read an article somewhere and believes that is commonplace in whatever. You get it. Retro Advisory Board says, the consumer may be always right, but these people don't want, yeah, they want to be a customer. And, you know, even if they're not, I mean, whatever. You punch people looking in the wall, in the door, yeah, and you're going to get slapped back. Just the same. You're right, 100%. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. That was a good explanation. Tommy could be more artful in his counterpoints. Yeah, I don't know. You either love it or you hate it. It is what it is. I don't get hurt by facts. But you're right. Some people do. And they do. Well, and it's not the fact that they hate. Let's not get into politics, but use politics as an example. I can't tell you how many times. See, me and my lady differ on our scales of politics. And I don't mind talking about mine. I'm right in the middle, okay? I follow whatever makes sense to me. I'm not a left, I'm not a right, I'm not blue, I'm not red, I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican. I'm not even independent. I'm somewhere in limbo, political limbo. And mainly what I like to do is point out hypocrisies, you know? And that's what a lot of politics to me is. It's a hypocrisy. It's, this guy did this, so he's a bad dude. But then when the next group does the exact same thing, it's dumb. You get it. Shit, what was I going? Oh, but when people, my girlfriend, I'll say something, and she'll be like, "Well, what do you mean? What do you mean?" Because I'll upset her sensibilities about whatever political point of view. And if I come up with an actual fact, gets upset. It's like, don't be mad at me because what I'm saying is true. And if it's not true, then that's egg in my face and I'll have to eat that. It's crow or whatever it is. But people do. They get butthurt by facts. They don't get butthurt by Baby Yoda's concept lightsaber that has the little ball from the Razor Crest on it. They don't get butthurt about that. I don't know why they would, but I'm just popping random things in there now. But yeah, there's got to be that nice happy medium somewhere where people are allowed to just spew whatever they want. But I get it. If you want to say things that aren't true, he should have every right to come out and be like, guys, this isn't true. Because the product hasn't even been launched yet, and its intended audience doesn't even know it exists yet. And if they go to search it now and they get a whole bunch of misinformation, well, that's going to screw him and what he was trying to get going. But that's his fight, and that's, I don't know. I hope to be part of the positivity as far as, when people go to look up what the Amico's all about. Hopefully they don't get turned off by me. But if it's a great product, I'm going to say so. If I get the thing and it disappointed me to no end, I'm going to fucking say so. I'm not laying judgment. I could just say I'm excited about it. And I know certain truths and I know certain non-truths. And if people want to say this, that, and the other thing and it's really something else, then, fucking just, buck up. Buck up, Buttercup. You got educated. No big deal. But there is a way to do it, too. There's a way to do it. So going back to the comment, looks like something my cat would take a shit in. Yeah, like your mouth. I think that was an appropriate response, given what Tommy's been going through for the past 3 years now. But to compare the two, the VCS and the Amico, which got us on this rant, I think they were comparable in their status for like this long. There was like this one little overlap. But they're completely different animals. Both in product, of course. Spec, target audience, what the product is supposed to do. They just come from the same category. But Atari now has it out. And everyone's like, okay, meh. And you know what? Maybe the Amico will do the same with all these other fucking douchebags. And maybe some of us who actually are excited about the project. Maybe it'll just become just another, hey, I'm going to play some Switch today. Who wants to come watch some Switch? Maybe we should talk about my Switch collection. I got a decent collaboration of games now. Postal says, I can't wait for my Founders Edition. I can't either. We need to talk about possible delays, and I do want to talk about that. But I really can't wait to see some of my Magic games on the Amico. I know. I saw another video a while back. They're talking about how there isn't any large developers or anything like that. I don't know if I would call Magic a large developer, but they were. They're on board, which means Activision technically is on board. They own a Magic. There's quite a few decent-sized people. If you look into who's behind it, go by that. Don't trust in the product. The product doesn't exist yet. I mean, it does, but you know what I mean. Trust the team that's working to bring it to you. In this case, that's where I'm at. I trust Tommy for the reasons I mentioned earlier. He puts his mind to it. It happens. Somehow it just happens, The guy didn't get that successful fucking jerking off. It's really that simple. But, so there's talks of another delay. I'm not saying from Tommy. I'm not saying from any of the Amico guys. There's more talks of maybe a 2022 launch date. I haven't heard anything about it. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous about that. I don't think it's going to happen. Before it was, it was expected. It was exactly what needed to happen because there was nothing we could do about it, You can't plan for a global pandemic for fuck's sake, especially if you're a startup tech company. People need to be a little more realistic, Frustration's fine. And expected. But if we do get one more delay, I'm keeping my Founders Edition. I think I'm going to be a little bit more critical. I'm going to be a little more, in this case, I will say butthurt. Butthurt. I'm not going to let anyone play any gotcha modes, told you so, because it is what it is. There's a shortage for everything out there right now. And I hope they're able to get things moving on. Let's see, what is he saying? The point wasn't to attract large developers yet. Inexpensive small developers, 100 to 300,000. Yeah, no, I know that. But there are some pretty decent names behind it, and that's one of the things that people have been complaining about. There's no huge studios jumping on the thing yet, but why would they? You know what I mean? And there was a video put out last week, and I apologize for not remembering who put it out there. But they're talking about, could this become like a development catalyst for a lot of people? And I could totally see Tommy and the team opening it up for something like that. And there's been talks of it in the past. Like you and me. We come up with a decent idea, we work the game out, and they convert it to whatever you need to convert it to work on the Amico. And a lot of times, Tommy says that they're going to front all the risk. You know what I mean? There's low returns for it, but there's benefits in something like that. But I really think, like Brian's Man Cave's been making a lot of television. So this is another reason why I hate wearing these things, because they kind of go, ugh. Maybe I should get that thing that the Fool made, that made everyone's eyes go cross-eyed, so I can easily 3D print something. But there was a video that I saw the other day of someone talking about how it could become, maybe it was Brian himself, but with Brian making these Intellivision games, and I'm actually toying with the idea as soon as I can get my Microsoft machine going. I'm thinking about developing a game that's going to be for something very specific. But, cats like me and you and anyone interested, as long as you come up with a product that's worthy, I'm sure he'd be more than willing to talk at least. That was Rich Bacon Ice Cream. Yes. Yes. Thank you. I'm telling you, man, my mind is mush. I got mush brain. But I really think if that becomes part of the deal, I mean, these kids are learning programming. Look, of course, the phone's going to ring, right? Let's see who it is. If it's a scammer, do you want me to answer it? I have no idea who that is. We're not answering it. But if they leave a message, we'll have a little bit of fun with them. It's going to bug me now. Give me a second. Let me have some more coffee. Because that's what I need. We only, on the landline, this is what we get. We get the IRS people. We get the extended warranty people. We get the robots calling, "Hi, this is Jim from your local carpet cleaning company. How are you today?" And then you go, "Poop! Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get that." Let's mess with the scammer. Have you ever seen the one video I made doing that? I was talking to this guy, and I will, if I have the time, I will keep scammers on the phone as long as I can. I will fuck with them to no end. And then at the end, it turns into, "I fuck your mother. I do stuff to your mother." And it's just like, all right, whatever. Okay. But I will hang out with those guys as long as I can. I did do a video, and it's up. I'm not proud of some of the things I said. But, $1 at my local grocery store. Yeah, Atari 2600 dude says he remembers that video. I screwed up. I said the wrong name like halfway through it. And the guy was on. He was on to me. He was on to my scam of his scam. But it is what it is. But I don't remember what we're talking about now. Let's go over here. 8 people. Wow. I've been on here for over an hour. Wow, that's crazy. Anyone else have anything they want to talk about? I think I'm done talking about the Amico. Should I plug the guitar back in? Yeah, let me turn the amp on. Let the tubes warm back up. I don't know what the fuck to do with this thing now. I guess I'll put it over here. Yeah, I don't know why that video I don't know why I made that into a video. I don't know, it's something I just did. Something I did that day and it felt right. And that's where my channel comes from, because honestly, I haven't really been in the mood to play. Yeah, I haven't been in the mood to play games. I haven't been in the mood to talk about them. Evidently, I'm not in the mood to play guitar either. Let's get a little delay on there. Yeah. Oh no, we need a little more decay than that. Yeah, that's good enough. It's funny how many retro gamers are into metal. No, right? I've noticed a lot of things. Alright, so you take retro gamers and you take YouTube. A lot of them are musicians of one way or another, into metal, and we all have mental problems. I know I do. We all have some kind of, and I think there's a lore to the whole YouTube thing and having behavioral health issues or mental health issues, depending on how you want to call it. Me, personally, I have depression, anxiety disorder, and my anxiety is fucking crippling most of the time. Really is. But over years and years of working at it, I've been able to become a functioning scumbag in society. You know what I mean? Though at work I was able to put it aside when I worked in the prisons and shit. Check on all three. Amen. But it seems like a lot of us find YouTube and come on here. The last place anyone with fucking anxiety or depression should be. The last place, because of all the people out there with the fucking, you know, the typing tough guys. It's really insane how many people will run their mouths when they know there ain't no one around. I saw a meme the other day of someone talking shit and he got punched in the face, and then they said Jim forgot he wasn't in front of his computer. I was like, wow. How's the diabetes going? About that good. No, not bad. I've actually been keeping myself somewhat, you know. I've been doing a lot more walking and stuff. I got those scooters now. I'm actually going to look at a 14-inch scooter. Kick scooter. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I've been on a BMX scooter kick lately. Not too long ago I did a video on toys I wish I still had. We were talking about the one I had, which was a 14-inch. Meaning the wheels themselves were 14 inches. And recently I picked up a 12-inch X Games one. ESPN had it made. And that's true fucking BMX to the max. Then I found another one that was more 80s than that one. But it just doesn't seem like it's right. It's still a 12-inch, but it's stretched out a little bit more. So the frame kind of goes like this. I'm going to go look at an actual true 14-inch one this afternoon. In the town of Revere, where the very first public beach in America opened up. So I'm going to get out and use that more than the vehicle. But, yeah. Hey, Jerome! Thank you, man. I appreciate that. But I plan on getting a little more healthy. Plus, we're going to Disney. We're going to Disney in July. So I need to get a little healthier. We went a couple of years ago, and I was much lighter then. It was still tough. I didn't smoke that whole week either, except for the last 2 nights. I found out they did sell cigarettes in the gift shop, so I bought a fucking $14 pack of Marlboros. I was so like, what? The mouse ain't got enough money. It's gonna fucking gouge me on my disgusting habit. But I'm 2 years not smoking as of yesterday, so yay me again. Yeah, it made me angrier. But I haven't really been keeping up with it lately. Everything with my mom basically made everything stop. I'm not making it an excuse. My anxiety and depressions get involved, so I tend to fucking eat. You know what I mean? And I drink soda like a fucking idiot. I drink the 0 calories or 0 sugar ones, but still, man, that's not any good for you. I need to put that stuff out of my routine. Coffee will never go away, ever, 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 never. And I only put like a couple pinches of sugar in it, like literally just enough to sweeten it, but barely enough to actually taste it. So, and I think it's more of a mental thing that I have to. It's like a ritual. But as far as the diabetes, I have type 2. I just need to lose weight and stop eating like an idiot. It could probably go away. But I've been taking my medicine. Do I drink alcohol? I do not. I am not a... thank you, Ted. Thank you for saying great job on not smoking. Roughest 2 years of my life. I still want a cigarette every fucking day, but it is what it is. I absolutely love smoking. I really did. I was one of those dudes who loved it to the max. And if it wasn't for the twins that are here, those young ladies, I probably would never have quit. I probably would just die in my 50s of some kind of cancer. But I don't know. But going back to, what was I saying? Do I drink alcohol? I don't. I don't drink alcohol. I'm not sober. I will. I'll have a beer now and then. But alcohol just doesn't do it for me anymore. I used to party. Of course, when I was a young rock star, traveling up and down the East Coast in the back of a fucking U-Haul. I drank a lot. It got excessive. But I never had a dependency issue to alcohol. Much like my brothers and my father actually did before I was born. And I'm the reason... I came out of the hole. My mom was just like, Bob, if you don't straighten out, fuck you, get out of my house. And they were separated for like a year and a half. And my father straightened himself out and came back. That's where I came from. Then he became a minister. Apparently he was a fucking douchebag before that. So something good came out of it, I suppose. You guys got the Atari Creep. Sorry. but no, I'm not. I'll have a drink once in a while, but no, I'm not a drinker. I'm not a drinker at all, really. My ex quit after smoking for 25 years and said the first thing she noticed was food tasted better. I'm not going to sit there and say food tastes better. A lot of drinks certainly do. Coffee tasted better, but coffee tastes better with a cigarette too. So, I never smoked in the house. So I would have my coffee out on the porch and puff away, but. Some food did. Food definitely tasted purer. I'll say that. The true flavors of what it was came out. And some things I actually found out I didn't like anymore. You know what I mean? I'm all like eating it. I'm like, oh, this is fucking gross. No, it's not. Quit smoking. No, it's fucking gross. But yeah, flavors did definitely change quite a bit. I wouldn't say that things ended up tasting better. They tasted different. And I quickly learned what I did and didn't like anymore. Retro Advisory Board is saying, and then we get the creep. We got the creep. Thanks, sobriety. Well, you know what? It wasn't even so much sobriety. My dad was the type of guy who just said, fuck it. You know what I mean? Another guy, he put his mind to it, and it got done. He wanted to get back with his wife. So he said, all right, no more drinking. He actually quit smoking, too, just to add to it, He just literally just did it. Just one day he's like, you know what, I want to go back to my family. All right, no drinking, that's what I got to do. Welcome me back home. But yeah, he was. We weren't allowed to have alcohol in the house at all. As a matter of fact, when my father passed away, I flew from Arizona back here, and it was St. Patty's Day. He died the day before St. Patty's Day, so I came out the next morning. And we're Irish. We're fucking Irish. And despite the fact that my parents didn't drink, all of our friends and shit were visiting us, bringing alcohol. And my mom was getting so frustrated. She's like, why is everyone bringing all this booze into my house? I said, because we're fucking mourning. Shut up and have a drink, woman. You know what I mean? And then she did, oh, you won't like to see me when I'm drinking. My mom was one of those people that would take like 2 sips of a beer or a wine, and her whole face would turn bright red, and she would be all, and then she'd get sick and throw up. Alcohol never agreed with her. But it did my dad. Oh, God. Well, maybe it didn't, because I guess he was a prick. He was an asshole back then. Very, very mean-spirited. He wasn't a physically violent individual, But he was mean. Apparently he was real mean when he drank. My parents would have company over. I guess my dad would just, without saying a word, just get up and fucking go to bed. So my mom would have to tell people, hey, look, Bob might just disappear. We just all have to live with it. You know? But yeah, I guess I'm a product of sobriety. I'm a product of reuniting, and it feels so good. But yeah, that's that. I don't drink. All that to say I don't drink. And what else got anything on their mind? Maybe we'll call it a day. I want to go up to Savers and see what's going on today up there. I'm telling you, I'm going to find a Scare Glow in one of those little baggies for $4.99 one of these days. That's my goal, to find Scare Glow. But it is what it is. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. Happy hump day to each and every one of you. I'm done. I'm done for the school year. I made a conscious effort with my supervisors, if you will, just take the last couple of weeks off. When my mom died, of course, I had a lot of time while she was sick that was devoted to her. So it's like, once she really started to get sick, it's like it was all mom all the time. And then I get to watch her die. And that was pretty... I worked in prisons for 13 years. I found an arm in a trash can. There's not much that can rattle me. But I think it was because it was my own mom. What I witnessed, I can't get out of my head, and I have been having trouble sleeping and shit. So, at work, one of the duties I do is I do the crossing. I'm not ashamed to say it. I do the crossing guard stuff. And I absolutely love it. It is the highlight of my fucking day. Every morning and afternoon. Getting to talk with these kids, getting them to where they got to go. But talking to their families, I've become part of their deal, I'm one of the few crossing guys in town that actually get gifts all the time. You know what I mean? So, a strong aspect of what I do for work, on top of other things within the school, is safety related. And I've just noticed since I've been back that my head isn't there. It's because I think I went from go, 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 and then mom passes away, and it was still go, 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 because then we literally had to make the arrangements. She's right over here. I should bring her over. I should bring fucking mom. Oh, I shouldn't talk like that because she didn't like swearing. I should bring mom. Next stream, I'll have her earn, But it was making those arrangements literally the same day, and it just felt so impersonal. And then I had 14 days to get her out of her apartment. She lived in a really nice building, this place called Cephalo, which is for the elderly and disabled. And it's not like an old age home or anything. It's legit apartments, but they're designated specifically for that. Really nice places, but they're at, a more affordable income and everything. But it's through HUD. It's connected. Okay, now it's successfully reconnected. I don't know. I love our crossing guard. Yeah, crossing guards are good people. I like them. But with HUD, you only have 14 days, even though the whole month was paid. I paid for the month, just in case, knowing that she was on her way out. But I wanted that time to I had to take care of it all right fucking way. And God bless my family. My sister, her son, and a couple other people came down, and they literally went through everything and took what they wanted, and they left me with everything else, which is fine. So I was there pretty much by myself. I had one of the kids with me in one day, just getting rid of everything. So from the time she got really sick to the time she died, and just afterwards, just go, 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 go. So I finally come back to work after like 2.5 weeks of being out to take care of all of that. And it's just like I can't focus. So there was a couple of incidents where I was just like, you know what, I'm dangerous. I can't be fucking doing this. So I called my soup and was just like, look, I'm done for the year. I'm done for that. I'm the vice president of the organization anyway, so what's she going to do? So I'm like, I'm done we only got 2-3 weeks. I'm moving on. Hey, have a good one, Atari 2600, dude. Oh, wow. 2:17 in the morning there. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Get me your information, and I'll look into sending you out a few things. But seriously, on the Facebook page or whatever, just get a hold of me privately. We'll work something out for you because you're rad. But yeah, so I'm off for the rest of the school year. And I don't know why I said any of that. Wow, that low E. It says it's in tune. You know what it is? It's the nut. It's the nut. I need to cut the nut a little bit better. Alright, that's where I'm going to call it, guys. I want to go up to Savers before the girls get home and everything. But thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for chatting about Amico and VCS and diabetes and guitars and David Gilmour and all the stuffs that are rad. I promise I will be back full tilt here pretty soon. I'm just trying to get my fucking bearings together. It's like everything was like, and now I'm finally able to actually process what's going on. And I did. I woke up 2 or 3 days ago and realized my mom's gone. And it literally took me that long to be able to sit there and say, wow, that fucking happened. Because when it happened, it was still go time for the next however long. But we're getting there. We're getting there. I'll come up with some ideas for some pretty cool videos. And if you haven't followed my vlog channel, it's called The Creepy Crawl. It's in the description of every one of my videos now. Check that out. Check that out. It's family friendly. I don't say fucking cunt and shit and pussy and penis, whatever. Testicles. Testimacles and chesticles. Check it out. I'd love to grow that channel. That's going to have a lot of really cool little vlog style stuff. We talked about my Cheerios bowl that I had as a kid that I just recently acquired because I found a spoon that was engraved with my name on it from when I was a child at my mom's place. So, hey, thanks, Last Game Hunter. I really appreciate it. But, yeah, follow that as well. But we'll be back. We'll be back full tilt here on the Atari Creep. I promise. We'll be back to the fucking shenanigans and the nonsense and all that good stuff here in the not so, well, maybe in the near future. I was going to say not so near future, but hopefully I'll be able to fucking smack myself back into it. Guys, have a great afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your week. And until next time, hope you're doing well. I really do. Thank you always so much for your love and your support and all that. Don't forget to donate to the Alzheimer's Association. Link is down below. Or you can buy yourself this year's Alzheimer's t-shirt, which would even get you something in return for... Just do one of the things. Just do the things that you know you need to do, and we'll make it all happen, and it'll be groovy. Guys, have a good afternoon. Take care, and bye-bye.